It is Sarah Stahlberg and Rich Mayo. We are at the Montana Association of Realtors spring meetings. So if you ever join a committee, this is what you have to look forward to. Behind us, there's a little gathering happening. In the evenings, we always get together and have a good time. But we wanted to talk to you a little bit because it is Fair Housing Month, and we are both on the DEI committee, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And we had a speaker come this week and talk to us. What was his name? Bill Dedman, right?
Bill Dedman.
Yes. And he was part of the team that did an investigation for Newsday, and it was called Long Island Divided. It won a Pulitzer Prize. And it is a series of articles that exposed widespread evidence of unequal treatment and discrimination against minority homebuyers in Long Island, New York.
By realtors.
By realtors, yes.
Yeah.
And lenders, there were a lot of people involved in it, and also I think some of the articles we didn't go through every single article, but some of them discussed how some of the governmental agencies also sort of participated in helping this segregation happen even more. So they spent over a year analyzing data and conducting undercover tests in dozens of Long Island communities to determine whether real estate agents were engaging in discriminatory practices. So, what did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was a wonderful, seminar, and I think it exposes. We live in Montana, which we don't necessarily think of a lot of people being displaced by or mistreated by unfair practices in real estate. So.
Right.
And so, as Montanans, we want to make sure that, everybody's treated fairly. We have, a limited number of non-white people, I would say, proportionately in our state. But it's not only, when you think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, it doesn't only address racial bias, but it also addresses inequities that we might even not intentionally create against people that are of handicap status or religious things. Anyway, we're just trying to create an environment and to educate the members of our association on best practices related to how you can protect yourself, how you can learn better methods of making sure that you ensure that everything that you do is in alignment with how you want to be treated, how you want to treat other people. All of it's the golden rule stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of, this is a grassroots just video on who we are, what we're doing, and why we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we're just basically trying to spread the word on what we're doing at the state level. There are most of our state associations, our local associations, are also they're putting together committees at the local level that are also diversity, equity, and inclusion committees that will all kind of feed together at some point with the state and the national association on an effort to just making sure that we do everything that we can to create a level playing field for people that are buying homes, selling homes, doing whatever. It permeates, and historically has permeated the real estate industry, the lending industry, and the appraisal industry. Three integral parts of every transaction.
Yes.
So.
And we have as realtors, we have some shameful history of being a big part of segregating communities.
We don't necessarily, but
well,
realtors
we don't,
do.
right? But realtors, some of our old, long gone articles of ethics, they required that you actually cannot show houses to people if they do not fit the demographics of the neighborhood.
Right.
So it was shocking to learn about that for me.
Redlining in the lending industry,
Yes.
and
Yes.
how lenders would not lend in certain areas that were of color or of a certain monetary worth, and in terms of what the real estate might be worth in comparison to some other parts of the town.
Right.
So anyway, I think we don't want to belabor
Yeah.
this video, but we just wanted to kind of sit down and talk just briefly about what we're doing at the state level, and we wanted to invite you to ask us any questions that you might have. Contact the state association through Karin Winkler at the state association office, or talk to your local association about what they're doing regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion, and see if you can be part of the solution. So,
And go check out the Newsday articles, and there's a bunch of videos that they did in this investigation, and it really is. Some of them are just like so ridiculous in how blatantly obvious they are. Like,
It is.
it's just not appropriate.
scary. It's scary.
But I think it's a good lesson to learn of, how do we talk about things, how do we say things. We do get asked a lot of questions as realtors, like especially if somebody isn't from our area. And so it's important to be thinking about how you want to answer those.
Creating best practices inside your own firm where you have equal treatment for every client that you do. If you're going to ask a certain type of a question, then make sure that you ask that question to all your clients. If you're going to omit that question, then make sure that you omit that for all your clients.
Yeah.
Those imbalances can create a real liability for you and for your firm.
Yeah, and you might unintentionally be, discriminating
Yeah.
legitimately.
We really don't.
Yeah.
I know most of us want to be treated well. We want to treat other people well, but just understanding the rules of a changing world that we live in is very, very important. So,
So we'll, we're gonna keep making these videos. So look forward to that.
yeah, this is fun. Thank you.